Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech Debate Edition, where we have a thoughtful debate illuminating different perspectives on today's topic. Today, we are diving headfirst into, well, frankly, one of the biggest tech arguments out there. What truly is the greatest iPhone of all time? And before you just jump to the newest model, the iPhone 17 or whatever, we're not just looking at the latest specs. We're really trying to figure out which models created those massive historical shifts, the ones that changed how we even think about smartphones.
Exactly. That's the mission for you, the listener, today. We've gone through tons of material covering nearly 2 decades of the iPhone. Our goal is to give you that deep dive shortcut, focusing on the key moments. We really need to nail down what greatness even means here. Is it just about the tech specs, or is it about historical impact, maybe a disruptive innovation, or even just how long a phone lasted?
Okay, but doesn't that sort of, skew things towards the older models? I mean, we mentioned the iPhone 17 family in our sources. That 17 Pro Max, theoretically, it's got the best everything camera, chip, you name it. If we define greatness purely by that wow factor, aren't we maybe just, being nostalgic?
That's the core question, isn't it? The sources really push us on this. Greatness, in this context, maybe isn't just a benchmark score. It's more about that moment, that aha moment, where you realize something fundamental just changed. Remember first using Touch ID on the iPhone 5s? That feeling of just seamless security.
Oh, yes, Ellie, that was huge.
Or seeing that edge-to-edge OLED display on the iPhone X for the first time. It just looked completely different. Those are the kinds of shifts, those sort of structural revolutions we're measuring against.
Agreed. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning then. Laid a foundation, we absolutely have to give credit where it's due. The original iPhone from 2007, multi-touch, a proper web browser, and iPod. All in one device. It basically created the category.
Yeah, it did. It absolutely did. But you could argue, and some sources do, that the original was maybe more of a brilliant proof of concept. If the original iPhone lit the match, the iPhone 3G in 2008, that was the fuel poured on the fire. That's the one that arguably set up the dominance.
But isn't that like saying the sequel's better than the original Pioneer? The first one had the idea.
Fair point. But the 3G fixed some pretty major flaws. And crucially, it added the infrastructure. You got usable, faster 3G data speeds. Remember how slow the original was off Wi-Fi?
Oh, painful. Yeah.
And the absolute biggest thing, third-party apps via the App Store. That changed everything. Before the App Store, it was just Apple stuff. The 3G turned the phone from a cool gadget into, a platform, an entire economy, really.
Okay, the App Store point is massive. I see that.
Yeah, when one source we looked at really emphasized the 3G because it fixed those early issues. The argument was, basically, if Apple hadn't sorted out the speed and the apps then, we might not even be talking about iPhones today. We might be, debating the latest BlackBerry or Nokia. That's the kind of historical weight the 3G carries.
Wow, okay. That really does put the 3G in a strong position historically.
Yeah.
So if the 3G gave us the app economy, which model gave us the look? The definitive hardware blueprint. For me, that has to be the iPhone 4 in 2010. The squared-off design, the glass back. It just looks so premium compared to what came before.
Right.
It still looks good, honestly.
Totally agree. The iPhone 4 set an aesthetic standard for years.
Yeah.
But let's talk about function too, the sort of utility leaps. We can't skip the iPhone 5s in 2013. Touch ID. We mentioned it, but it bears repeating. It wasn't just cool tech. It made security easy, seamless. That changed daily usage.
Right. And then almost immediately, the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus in 2014 took that security and applied it to payments with Apple Pay. And maybe just as importantly, the 6 Plus was Apple finally saying, okay, fine, you want bigger screens. Here you go. That first plus-size model was a big deal.
It acknowledged market reality, definitely.
Okay, this brings us to a really interesting contender, especially if we're talking longevity or value. The iPhone 6s from 2015.
Ah, the workhorse.
Exactly. If greatness includes reliability and just sticking around, the 6s has a serious claim.
It absolutely does. I mean, think about it. 7 years of full iOS support. 7. That's incredible longevity for a smartphone.
Unheard of, really.
That kind of support run makes a powerful case for greatness, based purely on lifespan and value. You got serious bang for your buck.
And it wasn't just coasting either. It debuted 3D Touch, which was, it was a thing, but also 4K video capture. That was major back then.
True. But here's the tension, right? Does that incredible longevity and refinement outweigh a truly disruptive, game-changing launch? The 6s, for all its strengths, look pretty much identical to the 6.
Yes.
So does it have the same historical punch as, say, the 3G or the X? That's the debate.
Yeah, that's the core tension. Okay, shifting gears into the modern era, let's talk about models that maybe forced us to adapt, sometimes kicking and screaming. The iPhone 7 in 2016. Key stuff. First, dual cameras on the Plus, proper IP water resistance. Finally.
Huge practical upgrades.
But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Or rather, the lack of a jack, the removal of the headphone jack.
Oh, yeah. Courageous, right? Or infuriating, depending on your perspective.
Exactly.
But love it or hate it, that move was tectonic. It fundamentally altered the accessory market, pushed wireless audio forward maybe faster than it would have gone otherwise. It was undeniably disruptive.
No question. Then the next year, 2017, was weirdly busy. We got the iPhone 8, which kind of felt like an S model, but it brought in essentials like wireless charging and the True Tone display, plus that glass back needed for the wireless charging.
Yeah, the 8 laid some important groundwork. Quietly essential features.
But it was completely overshadowed, wasn't it, by the other 2017 phone? The main event, the iPhone X.
The iPhone 10, yeah. If we're talking about defining the look of the modern smartphone, the X is probably it.
It felt like a leap into the future. That full-screen design, the OLED display, finally on an iPhone.
And getting rid of the home button entirely, replacing Touch ID with Face ID, that was a massive gamble.
Huge.
It showed Apple was willing to kill its darlings, ditch something iconic and successful for a new vision, and pretty much every other flagship phone followed that basic design language. Massive impact.
Okay, so the X changed the face. What about changing how we connect to the phone? Let's jump to the iPhone 12 in 2020. The big story there, besides 5G finally arriving, was MagSafe.
MagSafe, yes. This is a great example of a defining innovation arriving later in the product's life. One of our sources put it nicely. MagSafe changed our idea of what wireless charging could be. It wasn't just plopping it on a pad anymore.
Right, it was magnetic, modular, click.
Exactly. It opened up a whole ecosystem of accessories, wallets, chargers, mounts. Plus, the 12 had that tougher ceramic shield glass, and it was the first year all models got OLED displays. Big consolidation year.
And bringing us almost up to date, the iPhone 15 Pro from 2023. This felt like Apple addressing a lot of long-standing requests, didn't it?
Totally. Finally, USB-C, the universal port dream.
About time.
And the titanium frame, lighter, stronger, feels premium. Plus, the customizable action button replacing the mute switch. And of course, kicking off Apple Intelligence. Lots of user-facing hardware changes.
Right. We should also probably give a quick nod to some other important, maybe less flashy innovations like the safety stuff. Emergency SOS via satellite on the iPhone 14.
Oh, absolutely critical. Features you hope you never need, but could literally be a lifesaver. That's a different kind of greatness, maybe.
And looking ahead, sources are buzzing about things like the iPhone 17 Air, supposedly coming in 2025, thinnest iPhone ever, durable titanium. The form factor keeps evolving.
Always something new on the horizon.
Okay, so we've traced this whole lineage. From the App Store sparking an economy to titanium frames and satellite calls. What's the big takeaway for you, the listener, trying to pick a winner?
Well, I think the main point that emerges is that the greatest iPhone probably isn't just about having the fastest chip or the most megapixels like that theoretical 17 Pro Max. The debate really highlights how those incremental bumps, while nice, often feel less significant in hindsight compared to the real disruptions.
Yeah.
The champion, arguably, is the model that introduced something so fundamental, so game-changing, that it became the new standard, not just for Apple, but often for the whole industry.
Like the App Store on the 3G.
Exactly. Or Touch ID on the 5s, Face ID, and the full screen on the X. Maybe even MagSafe on the 12. Those moments where things just shifted, those are the models that really stake a claim to greatness.
That really crystallizes it. Okay, so here's a final thought for you to chew on as you weigh all this evidence of disruption versus refinement. Which innovation do you think is ultimately more defining for Apple's legacy? Is it introducing the dual camera system on the iPhone 7, which really pushed mobile photography forward? Or is it killing the home button and bringing in Face ID on the iPhone X, completely changing the way we interact with the device's physical form? Which one has had the deeper, longer-lasting impact?
That's a tough one. Both were huge shifts.
It really is. That's the debate for the ages, I suppose. You've heard the arguments, you've got the history, now it's your turn. Weigh in, let us know what you think the greatest iPhone is based on what we've discussed. Thanks for tuning in to Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed this debate, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech debates.